presentation, we have a video from Olympic gold medalist wrestler Jordan Burroughs.
My name is Jordan Burroughs. I'm a freestyle wrestler. Wrestling is super intense. You be able to work hard every day and then go out there and be one-on-one, and basically it's a testament of your will. Everyone works hard, everyone wants to win. So basically it's whoever has the strongest will when you step out there and I love that aspect of wrestling. I love the individual part of it. You're winning because of you, so you can't blame it or loss or your success on anyone else but yourself. I love working hard, going out there and dominating my opponent.
So that video, what Jordan Burroughs was talking about there, really kind of describes why Cam, Zach, and I love the sport of wrestling and why we want to get the youth in our community more involved in the sport. So that's why we decided, how can we use our wrestling experiences to positively affect children? And we figured one way we could do this is to have a wrestling camp for the younger kids to really help them learn the sport and get more into it.
So wrestling can change you a lot as a person. As you can see here, Shane's a little funny person, and I was
7th grade.
yeah, technique wasn't all there, but as we got older,
We changed quite a bit. This is a picture of us senior year.
Through our research, we found these 7 things to be some of the most important things that wrestling has to offer. First one being discipline. It takes a lot of discipline, whether it's losing weight, watching what you eat, or just taking time out every day to practice. Sometimes you have to do things that aren't really fun in order to succeed.
the second one is self-confidence. When you're wrestling, it's only you on the mat. You have to learn to have self-confidence and rely on yourself to have any kind of success.
Next one we have is physical fitness. Wrestling is one of the most physically demanding sports out there, and it really improves your balance, your reflexes, your strength, your endurance, and your agility. A lot of wrestlers are very fit, lean people.
Another important thing is sportsmanship. Because of the physical and mental toughness of the sport, wrestlers gain more than just a sense of respect for each other. They gain a sense of admiration. And you can only gain that when you know just what has to be done in order to win, and it's a huge part of the sport.
The next one is self-defense. In wrestling, you learn the basics about self-defense. You learn how to position your body, control your opponent, and also you learn how to defend against certain types of attacks.
Here we have competitiveness. Now, every sport teaches you how to be competitive, but in wrestling, it's not only across the mat for you, it's also within your own team, because every 2 weeks we have to have a challenge match from anyone on the team that's at your weight. You have to wrestle each other, and whoever wins that challenge match will be the varsity starter that week.
Last thing we have is mental toughness. It takes a lot of mental toughness to pick yourself up after a loss and keep working hard. It's very important in the sport. There's also a lot of added stress in the sport due to weigh-ins and challenge matches. And those are what we found to be the most important things that you can gain from wrestling.
So in the past, Mount Pleasant has been one of the better wrestling teams in the state, believe it or not. No one really knows about our sport very much, so we don't need much talk about it. But in our wrestling room, we have a wall along the back that has the names of all the state champions, and all the All-Americans, and all the state placers, and a wall along the side that has all the years that we had team state championships. You can see here, in the past we've had 6 team state championships, and the most recent was way back in 1984.
We've also had 16 individual state champions as well as 7 All-Americans. But our most recent state champ is in 2001, and our most recent All-American was in 2000.
We've had a ton of state placers, but we haven't had one since 2009.
So as you can see, it's been a long time since our program's had a lot of success, and we want to work to help build it back to what it used to be and how people remember it as.
One really good way of doing that is youth wrestling camp. And I know when I was a little kid, came in 7th and 8th grade, looked at this wall, it really kind of motivated me to really get into the sport and invest my time, because I saw all of those former greats that everyone talks about in wrestling. And it really kind of motivated me and everyone else in the team to go in the room, work hard every day so we could see our name up on the wall or our year up there for a state championship. So before the camp, we ran into a couple difficulties that we weren't expecting.
The first one was that there was a leak in the roof, or a leak in the ceiling, and it caused some of the ceiling to collapse. So that kind of created a mess, and we could only use about half the mats. And we found out that the day of the wrestling camp.
Because of all the equipment in there wasn't a whole lot of people using it, and the mats got really dirty and had a lot of gross stains and grime on them.
So we had to come probably about an hour and a half early. Yeah, that's me. We had to come probably about 2 hours early to move a couple mats out of the way, like that were stacked up on the other ones, and clean off all the mats. So first we had to dry mop them to get all the dust and like all that stuff off, and then we had to wet mop them with some solution we got from the custodial staff to clean the mats so they didn't have any bacteria or anything like that.
And these are some pictures that were taken during the camp when we were working with the kids. This one was when we were showing the moves. We'd bring them all together and they could watch us run the move, and we'd explain step by step how to run it before they went and tried it themselves.
And then after the kids were all split off with their partners and were working on the moves, we would walk around and watch to see if they're doing anything incorrectly, if there's anything we could tweak, make it a little bit better. Just and we'd show it either on each other or on them, just so they could keep learning and just get better and better at every move.
This is one of the kids hitting a double leg on the other one, and Shane and Cameron are just looking over it, making sure they're doing everything okay. And then sometimes throughout the camp, we'd wrestle live with the kids so that they could practice the moves in more of like a live setting instead of just your partner standing there and letting you hit the move.
And they thought it was fun to try and beat the big kids up. It was pretty cool. Here, we're playing a game. Like, yeah, we're supposed to teach them how to wrestle, but there's a lot of things in wrestling that you can't really teach through technique stuff. Like in this game, you have to hold your foot up and balance on one foot while you try and either knock the other person down or knock them out of the circle. And that really teaches you like balance and awareness and stuff like that. You can't really teach by just practicing it. You have to do stuff like this that'll teach you that. And he actually beat me. He was pretty good.
We also like to show some more advanced moves to the kids that have been wrestling for a long time. Because we know from experience that hitting the same simple moves over and over again can get really boring and redundant. Although it's important, we do make them do it. But to keep them interested, we like to show them some fun moves and let them have some fun messing around with it.
As you can see, we had a really great time with all the kids, and they had a lot of fun too. And we like to just mess around with them. It was a really great experience for everyone.
And we even got together for a group picture afterwards. And we didn't have a whole lot of kids coming to the camp. There were a lot more that were planning on coming and said they would be there, but because of baseball and their prior obligations, they couldn't make it. Another huge part of wrestling is cutting weight. And most people think of that in a bad way and think it's all bad. Well, we want to let people know that there are healthy and unhealthy ways to do it. And we want to teach them about the unhealthy or the side effects of unhealthy weight loss.
One major problem is because wrestlers practice dehydration to try and lose all the water weight they can, it can cause long-term kidney and heart damage, which is a really bad thing. And another, we have eating habits. Your eating habits are usually formed when you're a younger kid. So when young wrestlers fast and then binge eat, it can really cause unhealthy eating habits they'll carry later on in life and really cause problems for them. The third thing is eating disorders. And a study was done by Vanderbilt University that said 8% of wrestlers practice purging. Now, our team never purges. I find that pretty disgusting to try and lose weight at the last second because you don't really need to. There are many like healthier ways you can lose weight, like some of these things.
If you eat 3 meals a day, like after school, the first thing I want to do is eat. But if you just eat 3 meals a day, it's easy on the body and it's like effective way to cut weight. The second is healthy eating. And just cutting back on junk food and eating like something like a banana instead of chips in your lunch makes cutting weight pretty easy. And increased activity. Instead of starving yourself, you can increase the amount of time you spend exercising. Like just when wrestling season starts, you can lose a ton of weight from conditioning.
And we know what a big part of wrestling this is, but we want to make sure these kids know how to do it in a healthy way so they're not hurting themselves. So after our camp, we brought them in, we sat them down, and we talked to them about nutrition and healthy weight loss. And being as young as they are, they don't really have to cut weight. We want to get them started with healthy eating habits and just the knowledge of how to cut weight easy and safely so they don't have to when they get up to the high school level, they're able to do it easily and effectively without hurting themselves.
So to recap, we held this camp. One, we want to build a youth program so that when they get to the varsity level, they'll be better wrestlers. You know, the younger you start, the more time you have to practice and learn. become a better and better wrestler. And then we wanted to teach the kids about the eating habits and all those health things that can become a problem later on in wrestling when there's pressure to cut weight and wrestle a specific weight. And we want to teach them that there's healthy ways to do it so they can be healthy, physically fit wrestlers. And then third, it was really about the kids. They had a really great time, and some of the lessons you can learn from the sport of wrestling you can really take on for the rest of your life, no matter what you're doing, getting a job, having a family. These are lessons that you'll need for the rest of your life. Thank you for listening to our presentation. Do you have any questions?